Hello, my name is Sean Ennis, and thank you for joining me here today on the Creative Collective. And today I'm honored to be joined by a very special guest. He's a rapper and songwriter from Raleigh, North Carolina, Hutch.
What's up, man? What's up, Ennis? Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So to get started, talk to me about the music scene in North Carolina.
Wow, man, it's actually very, very interesting right now in terms of the music scene around here. We have, of course, the artist from Charlotte, the baby, who's buzzing right now. You know, got a hit single and actually making a lot of noise in the industry. So a lot of attention and a lot of eyes are on North Carolina right now, and I think that's it's known internally. And so you see a lot of people trying to make certain moves and trying to put themselves in position to follow up on this success. And so it's a real interesting time. Real interesting time.
Now, talk to me about your stage name and how that came about.
Hutch, or Raleigh's own Hutch, is my name. It actually, one of the first songs I did, man, before I really had a name locked down, I used Willie Hutch sample. And because I used the sample, we actually named it the Hutch track. And so every time we would want to go back to that track and listen to that track, we would play that Hutch track, and then it kind of stuck with it, the name, kind of, and not something that was, I guess, hip hop-ish in a sense. So it kind of stuck with me like that, man. And I explored that, but I also wanted to have something that kept my home in reference, which the Raleigh Zone came about, because some people would hear my music and be like, you sound like you're from New York or something like that. And so I always wanted it to be known where I was from, and so I incorporated that in my name. And again, so you got the Raleigh Zone and Hutch, Hutch.
Now, what genre of music do you consider your work to be?
I would consider it to be rap music.
And how would you describe your music?
I would describe it as different, or what I say is tangible music that you can feel, that you can connect to.
And what would you say makes your music different from music from other artists?
I would say my perspective, man. I would say just my ability to give my perspective on things and my personal experience on things. I think no other person can give what I've been through or give my experiences better than I can. And so because I'm true to myself and my music, I feel like that's what separates me from other artists. So that's what differentiates my music from other rappers.
Now, how long have you been writing and recording music for?
I've been doing it for a while, man. I started maybe 2000, 2001 in high school with a couple guys, and I kind of played around with it and explored it a little bit. Once I got out of high school, one of my first cousins was getting success in the music industry via production. He made beats, and so being around him allowed me to actually develop a reality and actually see a realistic way into the music industry. And so, I did that for a while. I've been actively investing in myself and investing in what I do for the last 4 or 5 years. And so, altogether, I've been doing it about 9 years, man, 10 years. But seriously, and like I said, putting money behind myself like the last 5 years.
And initially, what do you think made you want to become an artist?
Just having the ability to express myself. You know what I mean? I found it something I did naturally, something I did easily. And when I say it, I mean writing music and expressing myself via rhyme. So I used to write poetry when I was real young. And that's when I realized that I could actually, write or express myself in rhyme. And so I got into rap in high school. And so I began to develop my skills from high school on.
And you were rapping in high school. What sort of What sort of rapping were you involved in high school?
It was different. I was younger and I was more influenced by other rappers, so it was more punchline heavy and more, just raw rap ready. I had to actually develop the ability to write songs and feel production on another level. It's something I developed over time, but initially it was just bar heavy.
Now, what music or artists influenced you growing up?
The biggest influence I had was I want to say Jay-Z. I would say Jay-Z was the biggest influence.
And what about Jay-Z made such a big impact on you?
It was his ability to use words in a very intellectual, witty way, yet still express very elementary concepts or concepts that touch to the foundation of people, or especially my community, the African American community, or the community I come from. So his ability to use words and be intelligent with that, but yet still be cool enough to translate it to people like myself is what attracted me to him.
And is that something that you've tried to implement into your own music?
Yes. I try to stress the importance of educating oneself on different aspects or different topics that's important to you, and having the ability to express yourself precisely on those aspects. And so that is something I put in my music, just because I feel like it's important as a person, or to know how to do. I don't think we give enough credit to the communication aspect of being a human. Being able to communicate with each other is essential to survival. And so that again is the difference with being able to make music and to have such a powerful gift and powerful talent, regardless of the genre of music it is. You could really be a jazz musician and still connect with people on different levels, just us off the power and influence of music. You know what I mean?
And can you talk a little bit about the responsibility that you feel that you have as a musician?
I feel like as a musician, now I don't give us full responsibility, but I do feel we are partially responsible of the message we portray or that we put out. You know what I mean? I feel like we should be able to stand behind it, whether we're in front of a camera or not. Whatever message you put out, I feel like it should be something that you would be willing to teach your kids. You would be willing to pass down after you're gone. Something that you'll really be willing to stand behind. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we have that responsibility as musicians, because we put our name and our voice behind it. And if you're, a real musician like myself, you put your soul behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really interesting, your point of view, and I certainly 100% respect that. Can you talk a little bit about why you feel the responsibility is more on an artist than in like the film world?
Yeah, personally, I feel, although I do feel like both parties have a responsibility, I feel like the responsibility of an artist is more than one who does cinematic entertainment or does movies, simply because I feel like music resonates more than theater. You know what I mean? Now, don't confuse it. I do feel like you can go to the movies and leave the movies with a certain type of emotion or a certain type of energy that was translated through that movie. I feel like you can do that more so, and it becomes more powerful if it's music. You know what I mean? I feel like throughout time, people have been influenced via music or via chants and things like that. And it just speaks to the power of the spoken word, power of the tongue. You know what I mean? And so that's why I feel we as musicians have a higher responsibility than those who direct movies or act in movies, although they do have a responsibility.
Now, what are some of the main themes or topics that you cover in your music?
I cover I like to cover things that revolve around adversity or different type of adversity I had to face in my life, whether it be peer pressure, whether it be adversity in terms of coming from where I started from and making it to where I want to make it to. I cover relationships and what I feel, goes on in relationships, whether it be good or bad. I like to, tap into my personal experiences and give listeners things like that. Things that I feel like everybody can relate to on a universal basis, not just my community or my culture. So, I like to think that's what I cover in my music, things like that.
And what inspires you to make music?
Honestly, not wanting to cheat the world for my talent. I believe I'm talented on another level, and I feel like, I owe it to not only my creator, but I owe it to the world to make sure that my perspective is one that's recognized. Not saying it's superior or inferior to any other perspectives that are out there now, but that is one that needs to be heard and needs to be explored or needs to be an option to people. You know what I mean? That's what inspires me to keep going and inspires me to try to reach the next level and always get better.
Now, you're planning an upcoming release of a new single. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, man, I got a single I'm going to release this Wednesday. It's titled Know What You're Doing. It's produced by a guy named The Professor, And it's a song that just talks about, the ups and downs of relationships, how you can feel one way at one point and then, a couple hours later feel another way. And so it kind of touches on that in the comical yet, real serious way, if you understand what I'm saying.
And you're planning to release a visual along with the single?
Correct, yeah. I'm going to release a visual the same day I release the single. And this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm hoping to maximize on the exposure aspect of this. And so that's why I'm releasing both of them together.
Now, what are the joys and some of the challenges of songwriting?
I think some of the joys are just having a platform to express yourself, having a platform to actually release different emotions or different energy you may have in regards to different things, and then you actually get to do it on in my case beats that are dope beats and stuff like that, and actually to develop or to get something that's going to be almost stamped. When you record something, it's almost like you're making it timeless. And so that's what I would consider the joys of making music. Some of the negatives or some of the drawbacks are, I guess, time, man. When you're really pursuing music, or especially the hip hop industry, it takes a lot of time and a lot of attention, and so that's some of the drawback, man. I really find myself investing a lot of money and time into trying to make sure my music is getting to where it needs to be in terms of exposure. And so right now that's currently one of the drawbacks or one of the challenges I have with making music.
Now, can you talk about the experience of writing a really personal song?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually those type of songs usually come easier to me, just because I can literally recollect and draw from direct experiences. I like to, when I get personal, I like to get very personal. And so, in terms of the process, I just try to find the message I want to relay ultimately, and then, point out or highlight key points that they get the listener toward that direction. You know what I mean? And so I write music like I write, almost like somebody will write papers. I give you a concept. I give you almost like a brief rundown of what my song's going to be, and that's within the hook. and then each verse I kind of break down each concept like a writer would break down paragraphs. So that's kind of how I format my music, or I write my music. And so that's the experience, whether it's writing something personal, writing something that I just want to be in the club, or writing something conceptual.
Now, do you ever feel any hesitation or fear when releasing a song that contains material that's really personal to you?
No. And that's a developed courage, because it's over time I've just learned to go with my emotion and go with my feelings, because it's real, you know what I mean? And because it's real to me, it's going to be real to someone else. So I put it out with the faith, with the faith of knowing that, you know, energy and emotion relates. And so no, I don't have any fear when I put it out. I put it out and I know it's going to do well. And so it just is what it is.
Now, if you could collaborate with any musician, a musician who's alive or maybe a musician that's passed on, who would it be and why?
It would be Aaliyah. And I say that just because her experience, how young she was, and the influence she had on the music game overall. You know what I mean? Not just hip hop, but overall in such a short time. You know what I'm saying? So it would be Aaliyah, if anybody.
We're currently in the digital age of music where streaming has vastly replaced the form of, you know, physical CD sales. So let me ask you, how important is a strong online presence in your music career?
Man, I feel it's essential. It's priceless, just because as an indie artist, you know, I'm not working with a budget. Like, I don't have a major or record label budget. So in order to compete with that in terms of exposure or in terms of my reach, my best thing is to utilize social media, because that's free. And I can get on social media and attempt to expand my exposure or expand my reach without having to use budget money. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's very important to utilize social media, all aspects, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, in terms of promotion, because it only helps. You know what I'm saying? Very few instances can it hurt an artist, but if used right, it can change a life. You know what I mean? It's been proven. There's numerous artists who've been discovered via social media, and so I feel like it's priceless in terms of an indie artist. It's just how you use it. You know what I mean? Being educated on how to use it appropriately or for your benefit.
What are your music career goals?
My goals change often, man. I try to set goals, I try to reach them, and I try to set more goals. And so right now, my goals are to just increase my streams with this single I'm releasing Wednesday. You know, move more units, do it more efficiently, and just kind of attain or develop like a blueprint for all my future music. You know, I'm just trying to gain statistics, make sure my statistics are where they need to be. So when it comes down to having negotiations or meetings with labels for budgets, I kind of have some leverage. And so that's my current goal.
Are you planning to collaborate in the future with any artists?
Yeah, I actually have a couple artists, which I'm not going to mention by name, but yes, I do have a couple artists I'm going to attempt to collaborate with. Some big name artists, actually. I'm narrowing down the list of ones I'm going to reach out to. I like to get my project all the way done and then choose the songs that I want to put artists on. And so I'm about 90% done with the project. And so once I do that, I'll find the artist. But yes, I am planning on collaborating on this project.
And when you're looking to add a feature artist to your music, what do you look for in that particular artist or those artists?
I look for confidence. I look for compatibility, because obviously, you know, we got to be compatible. Not just are they talented, but I look for somebody who can potentially challenge me when it comes to writing a song, or when it comes to me expressing myself alongside them. So I look for things like that, things that can help make the song as good as it can get.
Now, what song or kind of music is your favorite to perform?
In terms of performance, I like high energy music. I like to be able to actually like lose myself with the crowd or lose myself in the performance. And so I found through experience that high energy music helps me. I just enjoy that a little more. It's a personal thing with me in terms of performing. I prefer high energy music.
Now, what type of satisfaction do you get from creating music?
Oh man, I get again, that's something that I would say is priceless. It's almost fulfilling to me, which is why I've been able to do it so long and still be as inspired as I am by it. It's just something that I don't know. It helps me through my personal life. Having a platform to express myself, but not only that, but also explore other artists and their ability to express themselves and the things they've been through. It gives a certain type of fulfillment that I would say is priceless. So it's not really a number I can put on it.
And can you talk a little bit about what it's like to get positive feedback when you create music?
Yeah, man, that's priceless as well. Just knowing other people can relate, or knowing that you help other people, or you shine light on certain situations that other people were scared to speak on or talk about. Yeah, man, that can be very fulfilling. And that's with anything. When you do something and people show appreciation or show you attention for it, I think it's a human instinct to get some type of gratification from that. You know what I mean? So it's the same with music. I think every artist likes to be, appreciated or likes to be complimented in terms of their music, just from it being something they created.
Now, can you talk about one of the challenges that you faced in your music career and how you've been able to overcome that challenge?
Yeah, man. Early in my music career, I was almost a gift and a curse. I was able to make music with my big cousin, or my first cousin, Black Drews. He was actually in the industry, and so being connected to him so closely provided different opportunities and different spoils that I was blessed to have. You know what I mean? In terms of production, in terms of studio time, in terms of exposure. But that situation, it kind of fell off, in the first couple years that I was doing the music. And so the adversity came because I was so used to having things given to me that when it came time to me having to get out there and get it, I didn't know how to do it or how to properly do it. And so it became frustrating and almost became demoralizing to the fact that I was going to stop doing music. But I was able to overcome it because I have a strong support system around me. I got good friends around me who saw I was talented, and they pulled together to create a platform for me to put my music out on. And they support, they provided support financially and still do provide support financially, which makes it easier for me to continue and to make influential investments into myself. And so that's some of the adversity and things I did to get over that adversity throughout my career.
Now, what's one piece of advice that you could give to an aspiring musician or a musician who's just starting out in their music career?
Be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Dream, but make sure you're not so caught up in a dream that you're not understanding the reality of business and the reality of the process it takes to become what you want to become. You know what I mean? So I would just say make sure you have a realistic vision for your dream, and And I hate to say it like that because it almost sounds like I'm telling people to limit or to cap their dream. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying understand the reality behind attempting to get somewhere or to having a goal. You know what I mean?
And are you kind of talking a little bit about knowing the business side as well as the creative and artistic side of the music industry?
Yeah. I mean, in a nutshell, that is what I'm saying. I would say, be aware of the business. If you have people in place to do your business, then that do allow you some wiggle room in terms of how educated you have to be. But I would still say be aware, because that decreases the chance you'll get, you'll get taken advantage of. You know what I mean? So yes, I definitely say be aware of the business. I mean, I personally stand behind educating yourself fully on anything that you prioritize in your life, whether that be religion, whether that be your career, whether that be your hobby or your aspirations. Educate yourself on it. You know what I mean? It just makes it more of a reality to you, and so you're going to go hard for it naturally if you become more educated on it.
Can you share your social media links?
My biggest platform is my website, rohutch.com. That's rohutch.com. But through that website, you can get to each social media platform individually. My Facebook is rohutch. My Instagram is rohutch919. That's rohutch919. It's the same for my Twitter, rohutch919. It's the same for my Snapchat, rohutch919.
Is there anyone you'd like to acknowledge for offering financial or emotional support to you in your music career?
Yeah, definitely. My partner Ko, man, he's actually been like a very big part of the engine that runs behind my music, and my exposure right now. And so yeah, shout out to Ko, and just shout out to everybody who's active and who actually like my music, who comment on my music, and who share my music. You know what I mean? Just shout out to them, because I'm supported through them as well.
Is there anything else you'd like to promote or share?
Yeah, go check out my website, rohutch.com. So I'm going to throw that out there again, man. That's the central location for my brand, everything involving my brand. You get, updates on shows, update on new releases, apparel, everything regarding my brand and rohutch you can find via rohutch.com. So check it out.
I would like to give a very big thank you to my guests for joining me today on the Creative Collective. As always, write your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. And for all of your promotion, marketing, as well as music career consulting needs, email ennisproductions@gmail.com.